Back in July 2022, I was in my fifth year running e-commerce business in Bhutan. Life was stable, I was with my family, things were comfortable, but deep down, I wanted more. I wanted bigger opportunities, a different life, something more than what I already had. So I decided to move to Australia, and in December 2022, I finally landed in Australia with the simple belief that life out here in Australia would be easier. So I thought I would work, earn good money, and slowly build a better life. I was like $30 an hour, work few hours a day, and you start thinking, yeah, this is it. Things didn't turn out the way I imagined. And that's when I realized starting from zero in Australia, especially when it comes to finding work as a newcomer, is not as easy as it looks. Hi, welcome to Baishi, where I share stories and life experiences so you can make a better decisions. So in this video, I'm going to show you kind of job newcomer really end up doing. So how much they actually earn and what that $30 an hour really means in real life. So this is based on my journey over the last 5 years. So if you are planning to come to Australia or you are already here trying to figure things out, this will give you a clear and honest picture. So please keep watching.
Almost 5:45 a.m. in the morning.
Getting your first job isn't always easy. You don't know the system, you don't have local experience, and suddenly things don't feel as smooth as you imagined. You're working long hours, doing physically demanding jobs, and trying to keep everything together at the same time. And that's when it hits you very hard. What looked simple from the outside is actually much harder in real life. And once you start experiencing it, you begin to understand what this journey really looks like. And for me, the reality started to hit very quickly. The first few weeks were confusing. I don't really understand how things work here and how to find jobs, who to talk to, where to even start. So you are applying everywhere but not hearing it back, which is very common. At the same time, expenses don't wait. So you have got rent to pay, grocery to buy, and everything costs money. So you start feeling this pressure, like you need to figure things out fast. So you are in a new country, away from your family, and suddenly everything is on you. And that's when you realize this is not just about finding a job. It is about learning how to survive in a completely new system. So as I spent more time here, I started to understand the kind of jobs most newcomers actually end up doing. So not the ones you imagined, but ones that are easier to get into in the beginning. So jobs like cleaning, pickpacking in warehouses, because they usually don't require any certificates and you can start quickly, right? And this job usually pays somewhere around $25 to $30 an hour, sometimes a bit more depending on shifts. But then there are other roles like aged care, disability, child care, which often pays better. But to get into those, you usually need to go through a few months of training and get the right certificates, paying for the course first. So in the beginning, most people take whatever jobs they can get just to survive. But over time, you start realizing the importance of upskilling. And there are moments when you sit and think, is all of this really worth it? Because it is not just physical, it is mental too. But over time, things start to change. Not because things suddenly became easy, but because I started to understand how everything works. You learn how to manage your money better, you become smarter with your choices, and slowly you start adapting. So you begin to understand which jobs are better, where the opportunities are, and what you need to do to move forward. And that's when you realize this journey is not just about earning money, it's about learning, growing and becoming stronger as a person. So if you are planning to come to Australia, don't just come for a dream. Come prepared for reality. Because yes, there are opportunities here, but they don't come easy. You have to be ready to work hard, to start from zero, and to figure things out along the way. And once you are here, focus on upskilling and moving into better opportunities. Most importantly, be mentally prepared. And if you're planning to study in Australia, you should definitely watch my last video about international student. Just click right here and check it out. So thank you so much for watching my video.